All right, welcome everyone to another edition of the Monday Night Wars. This is the WWF side, week 53. This is the 181st episode of Monday Night Raw, live on the USA Network from the War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This Raw took place on October the 21st, 1996. It was the night after In Your House, Buried Alive, which was the debut of the Stone Cold Steve Austin Glass theme. Just a side tidbit there. This was the night where Raw scored a 2.6 rating. It was the night where Bret the Hitman Hart returned to the WWF after a long 6 months away after losing to Shawn Michaels in the Iron Man match. He's been gone all the way till tonight. Only problem with the 2.6 rating Raw scored was that 3.2 rating for Nitro. So Nitro still won by over 500,000. WCW wins for their 17th week in a row. After this week's loss, the total scoreboard is now, for the WWF, 17 wins, 34 losses, and 2 draws all time through the 53 weeks of the Monday Night War, including this week. We have a return of Mr. Perfect tonight, return of Bret Hart tonight, and a return of Vince McMahon on commentary tonight. He, Jerry the King Lawler, and Jim Ross eventually will be doing the commentary tonight. The show opened up with Psycho Sid versus Bret's brother Owen, who had Clarence Mason in his corner, the legal representative of the family. Owen Hart, well, of Owen's side anyway. Owen Hart was reluctant to drop his tag team championship belt down when he got in the ring due to the sanity of Psycho Sid. He said to the ref, he went like this and pointed at Sid. And he had his belt in his hand, his tag team title, and he didn't want to drop it because Psycho Sid was psycho and right across from him in the ring. So he eventually dropped the belt as the ref took it away. Owen off the top got a shot to the belly, but Owen with a reverse facebuster hit Sid. He went up top and got a missile drop kick to Psycho Sid, a headbutt, then a clothesline to the floor by Owen. He's attacking early and often the much bigger Sid. Owen's tag team partner and co-champion Bulldog came to the ring, but Sid knocked Davey Boy down on the outside. Then Owen took it to Sid's knee on the outside. He tried to chop him down to size. Benefiting from the Bulldog's interference, distracting Psycho Sid was Owen Hart. Owen Hart grounded the bigger man in the ring, taking him off his vertical base, leveling it, grounding him down as he beat on the leg of Sid. All of his offense implemented against Psycho Sid's lower half, his lower extremities, chopping the bigger man down to size. Smart wrestling with a good strategic plan for Owen Hart. Bulldog remains at ringside with Owen, who drops his body weight onto Sid on the ropes. Owen with a kick to the midsection and off the top ropes. Sid drops Owen to the mat. Sid drops Owen to the mat and misses a leg drop. Owen then took the leg and wrenched it and torqued the ankle back to the canvas. Then a modified figure four by Owen Hart on the floor, on the canvas floor. A version of a leg lock, a modified leg lock to the legs of Psycho Sid as Owen continues to work on that leg, chopping the same leg he chopped down on the outside when the Bulldog helped distracting the referee. Owen goes for a sharpshooter attempt too soon, so Sid knocks him away. Owen then torqued the leg more and grounded Sid some more with another leg lock so he could ground him for good for the sharpshooter. Sid fights back, though, and gets Owen with a choke slam. Sid, still selling his leg injury, gets up to his vertical base and then goes to hit Owen with a powerbomb after his one-handed choke slam, but the Bulldog came in the ring and clotheslined Sid, and the bell rang, so a DQ ending. HBK comes running out from the back as the fans scream. A lot of ladies scream, obviously. Shawn Michaels comes out and attacks the Bulldog and Owen. So Psycho Sid and Shawn Michaels both with 2-on-2 as Sid was being double teamed by the tag team champions. Shawn just came out from the back to protect his friend. This was a basic match of Owen grounding a giant wrestler, and with Sid's finishing moves were close. His tag team partner disqualified him, saving himself the loss from defeat from the pinfall and further damage with a powerbomb that would have happened. So the Bulldog distracted Sid and disqualified Owen, making Sid the winner at a 6 to 7 minute mark. So it was a good wrestling match, smart strategically by Owen, but it was a so-so match. It only lasted 6 or 7 minutes with a DQ finish. So for a TV match, I only rated it as a 1.75 stars. Next up, we had the Smoking Guns versus the Godwins. The winner of this match, JR says, faces the Bulldog and Owen for the titles. A standing side headlock by Bart Gunn to Phineas I. Godwin. Billy Gunn tags out as he was in during the commercial break. Then Bart back in as we get back to live footage. Bart Gunn the King says that Bart Gunn couldn't get a date on a tombstone. He was talking about his looks, saying that Sonny had a relationship with Billy Gunn, but then he said Bart Gunn couldn't even get a date on a tombstone. I thought that was funny. Phineas lying on the top rope gets a tag to Henry O. Godwin, his partner and brother. A reverse the same way that Bart and Billy are brothers. A reverse elbow to Bart and then a clothesline. So this is the battle of the brothers here. A power slam and a near fall. Both Godwins double team and Henry hit the slop drop to Bart at a TV time of 4:21. The Godwins are victorious, so rated at a star and a quarter as they are the number one contenders. Backstage, Mr. Perfect is doing squats for his big return match against Hunter Hearst Helmsley tonight because for months he's been stealing his valets at ringside. All of a sudden, Hunter Hearst Helmsley drives a cart right into Mr. Perfect and he's taken down, so he's hurt. Next segment, Jim Ross introduces the Hitman back to the WWF. After a bit of hesitation at the entrance, he does make his entrance. He comes in with a shirt and shades. Bret Hart then cuts a promo saying that he's not greedy for money, but he's greedy for respect. He's done a lot of soul searching in the months he's been gone. He says when he comes right down to it, everything he's done for the WWF fans. Bret says with good pauses in the middle with the fans cheering. He says he'll be with the WWF forever, and Vince looks like someone just gave him $1 million when he said that. How ironic, knowing what happened with Bret. Bret says he considers Shawn an opponent, but not an enemy. Maybe he's being a sore loser, but he lost fair and square, and he came off really loyal and honest here. He admits there's something about HBK that bugs him. He's younger, more popular, and maybe even cuter. And Vince goes, ha 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 ha. Bret says he will never be as tough as Bret, and he'll never be as smart as Bret. And then he says he will accept the challenge of the best. After quoting Richard Nixon, he says, if he will face the best wrestler in the World Wrestling Federation today at the Survivor Series in MSG, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we'll see who kicks whose ass. The fans pop. And so begins one of the greatest and most important significant rivalries in WWF history. The chemistry they had, like Vince said on Bret's DVD, Bret and Austin were just made for each other. And backstage, they cut to Austin watching the promo, and Pillman claps, and Austin looks back at him like, what are you doing? So he accepts the challenge of Steve Austin for Survivor Series. And Bret cut a promo on it, a bit on his nephew, his dying nephew, and how he's going to retire, and that was his promise. And he's not here to dance or pose for girly magazines, but he's still the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, and he's back. And Vince goes, yes! They cut to the back again, and Stone Cold is watching this with a smirk on his face. Next, we have Hunter Hearst Helmsley supposed to be against Mr. Perfect, but Gorilla Monsoon comes to the ring and says he no way can compete in this match. He needs an MRI. So it ends up being Mark Merrow versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley for Merrow's IC title. Sable's at ringside. Monsoon leaves, and then the two have a pretty decent match. Somersault plancha was going to be had, but Helmsley put Sable in front of Merrow, in front of him on the outside, so Merrow couldn't hit his somersault plancha to the floor. Merrow then hit a sunset flip on Triple H. This was a great match, back and forth, seesaw match, as Vince likes to say. He comes back with a bridge and a near fall into a backslide to Merrow. Triple H with another near fall, good exchange there. Merrow ducks a potential clothesline and is hit with a backbreaker. Helmsley bowed to Merrow and then catapulted him to the corner. All of a sudden, there's a chair, and Mr. Perfect makes sure the chair doesn't get in Helmsley's way. And Merrow gets to his feet, and Mr. Perfect with the ref down knocks Merrow out with the chair. So there's a hoax here. There's a swerve. Hunter Helmsley hits a pedigree, and Sable is screaming for the ref to get back up. And we have a new Intercontinental Champion after a pedigree by Triple H. Helmsley wins his first IC title, his first gold in the WWF on this night, on October 21st, 1996. And I thought as a kid, it brings back so many memories to watch this happen. 2 stars and a quarter. I thought as a kid, what a swerve. I rate this episode of Raw 5.5 out of 10. It lost 3.2 to 2.6 in the ratings, but it had a good Bret return. It had a good to accept the Austin challenge. It had a good tag match. It had a good Sid Owen match with a good Helmsley Merrow main event and a good swerve. So overall, I can't rate it bad as I've rated some of the other Raws lately, but 5.5 seems about fair for this Raw. We'll see how the events will get more and better in quality as 96 ends and 97 begins when Raw becomes War. We're still a little bit away from that, but it's coming. I'm Brett Mix. Thanks for watching this review. Hit like and subscribe, and I'm out.